Our final inductee tonight is the true definition of a builder and a pioneer. Girls soccer in Connecticut began with the advent of Title IX legislation and the Connecticut Junior Soccer Association in the early 1970s. The girls' game was growing rapidly by the time Beth Regan became coach of the Tolland High School girls in 1981. However, there were very few female coaches, if any, leading teams at that time. However, there were her ability as a coach, role model during difficult times, and a motivator for her players produced incredible results on the field. Tolland High School began an amazing streak in Regan's second year, going unbeaten from 1982 to 1985, winning 54 games and tying 6. They won 3 consecutive Class M state championships before Beth moved on to Eastern Connecticut State University. She built and established the women's program at Eastern as their first coach, and again found success with multiple NCAA tournament appearances in her 6 seasons. Her role as the first head coach at Eastern is honored to this day with the Beth Regan Endowed Women's Soccer Fund, established in 2016 to support the women's team. Regan returned to Tolland High School for 15 years, from 1992 to 2007. She was inducted into the Connecticut Girls Soccer Association Hall of Fame in 2012, the Eastern Connecticut State University Athletic Hall of Fame in 1998, and the New Britain Athletics Hall of Fame. Beth is also a longtime volunteer with Special Olympics, which she continues to this day. She carved her name in the foundation of girls' high school soccer and women's college soccer, developing competitive teams and shaping generations of student athletes. She was a master team builder, and as her former player Liz Costa noted, it was all about building trust before building skills. That formula has led her here tonight, and for her longtime success, influence, leadership, and trailblazing in state soccer, please welcome Beth Regan into the Connecticut Soccer Hall of Fame.
Just get a picture here for you. Oh, yeah. Grab that. Yeah, that works.
Small dog here.
Move left. All right.
Wow, thank you so much. I know I know you're probably, but a little impatient here, but I have to tell you, I certainly wasn't listening to these wonderful, wonderful stories. I don't know how I'm going to top the golden retriever. I would have asked for 12 people on the field as well, just so you know. But first, seriously, congratulations to all the prior inductees that I was so privileged to follow in tonight, and especially to this year's class. I'm truly honored to be in this company, and in the company of all the Connecticut Soccer Hall of Famers. Thank you, Bill Duffy, in the Connecticut Soccer Hall of Fame, Liz Gray Costa, for your heartfelt nomination, Liz and her twin sister Alice, among other many great players from Tolland, were the foundation of our program, along with their father, Tom Gray, who coached our girls throughout their club and summer seasons. But thanks mostly to my family, especially to my wife, Jerry, because all coaches know the significance of a supportive spouse. It's immeasurable. To my sisters and cousins and nieces here, to all of my friends, as well to all of my former players from both Tolland High School and Eastern, and Unified Special Olympics. You are so amazing, and your presence here is profoundly meaningful to me. I'm truly overwhelmed. I love you all. As you can see, I did not get here alone. No one ever does. My Mohegan culture, I'm Mohegan and Irish, you gotta love that. And grew up in Polish City of Britain. My Mohegan culture teaches me about our trail of life. It's a wavy symbol, like this. It shows the ups and downs of life. But on that trail are the people, are their dots. These are their dots. And they represent the people on your journey. They are embedded in you, above and below all those ups and downs. These dots represent the people on our path. The ancestors, the individuals, our past, our present, our future, the generations. They are all there to help us in those ups and downs. And that is what soccer journey has been. With amazing people, with amazing support. It's multi-generational, multi-level, Special Olympics, high school, college, but mostly for me, it's been moving and inspirational. I have to tell you, back in 1981, I started teaching in 1979 and coaching, and athletic director Skip Olander asked me to coach varsity girls soccer at Tolland High School. My reaction was, "Are you crazy?" No, but thank you. Basketball and softball were really my sports. I was currently coaching those. Soccer was not even an option for me to play when I was growing up. I went to school in the 70s, high school and college, and Title IX had just begun. It wasn't available, the soccer field. Yes, I played on the boys and in the field, in our neighborhood. That was it. But there were only a few high school sports available for girls, and so I played basketball and softball. I never played soccer. Skip said, "Listen, we have great players. We have great soccer players, great skill. They've been playing together, but they need more. They need a coach to lead them. So if you know me, and many of you do, not being able to say no, loving a challenge, and being very competitive, and knowing these young women should have, and deserve the opportunity to compete at the highest level, I took on that challenge. Really, we did it together." Thank you. You see, learning the game of soccer was the easy part. After studying and going to some conferences and reading books, yes, books, okay? There were no online courses, there weren't courses, there was no YouTube back then. And I did watch games though. I liked watching soccer and learning and applying what I learned. I also applied my basketball knowledge, spread out the defense. First defender, second defender, help defense, right? Control, delay. That wasn't new to me. On the offensive side, 1-2s, the give and goes, right? Timing, make a back pass. I love teaching that one in Special Olympics. That sometimes the best pass you can make is back. But to a novice Special Olympian, that can be at first very counterintuitive. But it's amazing how well people can learn. When trust, you're right, when trust and good play, and when given the opportunity. It's about opportunity, and I'm so grateful for it. Yes, I took my basketball knowledge, except that offsides rule. I know, they're laughing and they know. I thought that was the stupidest rule ever. But seriously, all kidding aside, I did get to appreciate it. We did become a great team. What I lacked at the time, initially, technically and tactically, they had. And what they needed, insofar as training, discipline, teamwork, and family building, okay? Aaron said about care. Players and students, they don't care what you know until they know that you care. So she was right. And these women deserved it. So I knew I could at least bring that. And it goes to show you that when you have the necessary ingredients, and when that happens, teams can do great things, and then it becomes magic. Now, you might be wondering why I'm wearing an orange suit. Maybe not. Initially, I had a black dress and a black jacket that I really liked that I was going to wear. And I was convinced by some of my family to wear the orange suit. And I thought it was really appropriate. Because sometimes, especially for us women, And this is for all the little girls and the women in the audience, and the little boys too. You have to take a bold step. You have to try to just stand out and do what you have to do. Trust me, the referees, you were talking about the small dog in the bite. Well, the big dog on the sideline wasn't always appreciated. Women were not always appreciated. I know that isn't the politically correct thing to say, but it was a difficult journey. But if it weren't for our players, and it weren't for the people, and if it weren't for the ones that my mom, okay, who supported me as well, and especially my grandmother, we wouldn't be here. So I had to say that. Take that chance. Be bold. Take action. So I say thank you to Skip and Augie for seeing that in me. And to those young women, I believe it was important for them to have a woman to lead them. Navigating the world of soccer, which I do not recall many other coaches except Ans, thank you very much, and Garibaldi, I remember, okay? It was difficult, okay? And it was not always easy. But it was always worth it. It was always worth it. We were proud and mighty, and proud to be so. I will also say, did you realize that 94% of women in leadership and executive position played sports? So there, of course, were the great moments, the conference and state championships. I can relive them all, especially the ones in the snow. I could tell stories. Yeah, those were fun. I could tell stories about all of the players there, both in Tolland, at Eastern, on Special Olympics, all of it. I could tell such wonderful stories, right? But, okay, it's the people that matter. I think back to years 1 and 2, 1981 and 1982. We lost to the eventual champions in the state tournament in those semifinals, E.O. Smith and Simsbury, okay, big time programs, in shootouts from the 35-yard line. Remember those? 1v1 with the keeper. They blow the whistle, you have 5 seconds to get off the shot. Okay? I actually sort of like that better than PKs. Okay? And then we went on our string of state championships, which were of course so memorable, putting a smile on my face. And then soon on to Eastern. Okay? But as you know, people were most important. It was really hard to leave Tolland at the height of our success and go to Eastern. They didn't have a collegiate program. So when athletic director Bill Holloway asked me to come and start it, well, here I am again. It was a challenge, I was competitive, and I couldn't say no. But it was for these similar reasons that I went, but there was one mostly different one, and that is giving back. Another Mohegan teaching is our circle, right? The circle. Eastern virtually saved me and my sister. We played collegiate basketball and softball. Got an education, I got a teaching job, and now it was my time to give back to Eastern and begin the soccer program there. For a pay cut, by the way, while still teaching history full-time in high school, and not being able to recruit because I was hired in the summer of our first season, except for one recruit, Amy Keensteed, who I took with me from Tolland, thank goodness. She was going to go to Merrimack, and sorry Merrimack, but it really worked out. I don't know what I would have done without her or her family. It was last minute, and she had to sleep on the floor of her brother's dorm room because he was playing baseball there. She always teases me. Well, at least I think it's a tease when she says, I'm the only player that had to endure 8 years of leagues, 4 in high school and 4 in college. We knew after day 1 that our Tolland team that we just left would probably beat the new team at Eastern, okay? But not soon after that. Soon it was us beating others, beating the 3rd ranked team in the country and winning and getting NCAA bids. I believe to whom much has been given, much is expected. So I felt I owed that to Eastern. I mean that in a good way. So my goal was there to get the program up and running. I did stay for 6 years. I said 5, I gave them 6. All right. I said, you can get it going in 5 years. And then I would be back to Tolland, and they could hire a full-time coach. No regrets there. Amy, soon after that, Amy became a dynamic duo with me, and she became a coach for 10 years by my side in Tolland as well. So that was really wonderful, as well as some other former players back here that I had the joy to coach with. So I had a very different experience to begin at Eastern. I had several players that wanted to play there and had high school experience, but not many really ready for college, but a couple. One of my players, here's a funny story, one of my players, Carol, we were playing in our first collegiate scrimmage. I think it was actually against a local high school team, which was probably an NCAA violation at the time. But anyway, we were playing, and I'm yelling to Carol from the sideline, Carol, contain, contain. And she goes running by, she says, Coach, what is contain? Okay, so that's what we had to start. But let me tell you, it turned out to be wonderful. Okay, it was full circle. I was blessed with the great players to start at Tolland, but now it was my time to continue to teach the game I loved and get some good recruiting in next year for the following years to come, which I was blessed to have many All-Americans that played at Eastern as well. So I could go on forever, and I know it probably seems like I have, with many, many stories. But those have been told so many times before anyway, so I will humbly now finish by saying thank you. I am forever grateful for all of the opportunities that soccer has provided, but mostly for all the wonderful, wonderful people on this soccer journey. The relationships, the memories, the joy. Yes, the joy. And you know, we do start Unified Special Olympic Soccer in just a couple weeks. So that's been 4 decades of joy. Which leads me to the final words. A couple quotes. No movies, no songs, they all know what that means today, okay? But just a few quotes that we used to share. We had to persevere. Perseverance was the hard work that we did after we were already tired from the already hard work that we already did, right? That was our perseverance. Or this one. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. But you know, my last one that I'll share with you is most recent. And it's from the Olympics, this past Olympics, Winter Olympics, by the skater Alyssa Liu. You might remember it. What if the joy isn't the reward, but the reason we win? What if the joy isn't the reward, but the reason we win? And that's exactly what it was. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all, and I appreciate it.